Ladies and gentlemen, it is December 15th, 2016. It has been a very long day for me for other reasons. But aside from that, in all honesty, there's one thing that really puts a smile on my face and confusion in my heart. Not inside my mind, but in my heart. It tears me inside because I don't know how to feel. And that would be total nonstop action Impact Wrestling. By God, this looked like the show where they were going to write off the Hardys and we were not going to see them again. But by the end of it,
it looked like the Swan song.
But by the end of it, it's just begun for 2017. So let's take it step by step. We start off, Hardys, they have a little thing, and it's like, welcome to the Hardy compound. I've invited 50 people, which most of those guys were a part of the Tag Team Apocalypto, by the way, in case you didn't know. So really that's why it was so kept under wraps who was a part of this thing. So yeah, there's that aspect of it. We start off right off the get-go where he's like, my son will debut, and then Spud's like, I'm going to beat up your kid, curb stomp him, whatnot, kick him. I'm gonna teach him what wrestling really is about, and I'll make him look really strong, and you can shoot him up to the moon. Clearly referencing Roman Reigns. Clearly, we're gonna get a couple references tonight. I mean, not just a couple, but get the list ready, Mullins. Or
you'll see.
List. So.
We have a list, much like Jericho. We have a list.
I have a very long list.
List of references. So yeah, we start off with Spud versus King Maxwell, who comes down in a little RC Jeep, gets in the ring. Senor Benjamin tases Rockstar Spud. Maxwell pins him 1, 2, 3, and then Disco Inferno or Disco, whatever his name is, Disco Inferno, right?
Yeah.
Might be just I don't know why I was thinking Disco Fury.
It's Glenn Gilberti was what his real name
Gilberti. He was behind the stage, and he had a little thing after Spud got pinned. He was like, so glad it wasn't me this time. And he's like, who wants to play checkers or something stupid like that. So clearly referencing that this actually wasn't King Maxwell's first opponent, but in the Impact Zone it was. So that's all that matters. But that was insane. By God, wow. We start off the show with, of all people, Spud facing
yeah,
King Maxwell.
That was when his music hit. I almost got really I was like, what?
I didn't know.
Oh, and you guys are in because this isn't the first time
we were going to see Spud
tonight.
Yeah, and I thought Spud. I didn't think Spud was going to be the guy to job to King Max, so I thought it was gonna be someone else, but I think it was really worthy. Say who?
I wanted to see a Biscuit
They probably brought in all their closest friends. They probably brought in all their closest friends on the roster.
Yeah,
probably.
They're like, I like you. You want to come down to Cameron and shoot some stuff? And they're like, heck yeah. So,
I feel like Abyss, Crazy Steve, and the Hardys go out for lunch sometimes.
Oh yeah, probably. And well, they're all dressed like that too. We also see a quick little segment where Rock and Roll Express show up, and they're like, we're old, we like to wrestle, and Broken Man Hardy's like, welcome to the Apocalypto.
Oh, you forgot about the when the Helms Dynasty appeared on the closed roads, and they had the Hurricane reference?
That's after this.
No, that was before it.
No, Rock and Roll Express shows up first, and then Helms Dynasty, and then we go into the Sienna match. So
yeah, then Sienna comes out.
After the Rock and Roll Express have their little thing, we see the Helms Dynasty pull up. Also, by the way, this happened 3 times. There was the reference from the trailer. There was a trailer after the one we saw in Impact last week that came out where it was the state of North Carolina is under a state of distress as we're under a state of deletion. After Hurricane Matthew, we're now going to see, the Tag Team Apocalypto by the 7 Deities.
Now we're going to see the apocalypse happen.
Yeah. So that happens 3 times during the show. It was fun, gimmicky. Itchweed had a little appearance there. The second time was the Helms Dynasty, and they were like, "Sir, you can't come through this way." And he's like, "I'm good at these types of emergencies. Stand back, I'm coming through."
I'm used to this.
He's like, I'm used to this. Stand back. I'm coming through. And then he screamed and, like, laughed. And just drove right through all their signs.
By the way, the fact that we're 5 minutes into this review and we're not even like 10 minutes into the show, I think.
Yeah, we're not even like into like the
we're gonna be very slow about this.
Show.
Yeah, we're gonna be very slow about this. Sorry, guys. But after that, Santa has a match. She's like, anybody can fight me. Vanguard 1 comes out, and then the referee's like, no, you can't fight her. And then the ref DQs Vanguard 1, and then she's
because
like,
you can't
she's
have,
like,
you're
I
not allowed
need
to
a
have
person.
androids versus females in North Carolina.
She's like, I need a person. So what happens is ODB comes out.
Apparently that's against the law.
ODB comes out, like in her little whiskey
like
cruiser truck thing. So she comes out, she fights Sienna. Sienna gets the victory though, because there's a little part where the referee kind of turned heel and attacked Vanguard 1, because Vanguard 1 was going to do the pin because the referee was out. The referee was like, no, I'm the ref here. So ref kind of turned heel, and then ref got knocked over, and then ODB put Vanguard 1 into her titties. So yeah, that happened. That's the nicest way to put it. After that, we saw Lashley pull up, and he's like, what the hell is this place? So after
Lashley's
that,
like, they don't have this kind of shit in Colorado.
Yeah, after that, Itchweed made his debut. I'm not lying. Itchweed debuted against a guy named Chet Sterling. He's a North Carolina wrestler. That's all you have to know. I've seen him in person. Take it from me. He's decent. He's just another indie wrestler.
Is he not a guy we should expect to see in the big leagues again ever?
Yeah.
Do you want me to be honest, or do you want me to just go off a prediction?
Be honest. Chet Sterling's not going to probably tune into this thing. Be honest.
Not with that gimmick.
He was wearing like a blouse. Like, what is his gimmick?
It's not a blouse. It was not a blouse. It was a vest and tights.
Okay, well, it looked like a blouse. It looked pink. It was pink, and it looked like a blouse.
No, he's a decent wrestler. But I think he's more of the comedy style character, and in all honesty,
so he's a gimmick guy. He's a Chikara guy.
He would need a different gimmick, in my opinion, to be taken more
he's
serious on a mainstream scale. Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's a apocalypto guy. Let's put it that way.
Okay, he's a gimmick.
Yeah, so Itchweed takes him on. Itchweed beats him, hits him with a 919, which is my area code. Hey, guys. So, yeah, it's instead of a freaking, the 619, he drop kicks him.
San Diego's area code.
Yeah, he just drop kicks him on the side of the neck. So it's the 919, and then he does
I'm so glad they called it the 919. That was hilarious.
He does a pesticide drop or something like that. It
was called a pesticide drop.
It's the slowest elbow drop I've ever seen from standing up. I don't think he even jumped. He just kind of fell over. Yeah, it hit him, pinned him 1, 2, 3, got out the weed whacker, not kidding, and then weed whacked the guy's chest.
And it tore the blouse up.
The vest, yes, that thing. So that happened. After that, we start seeing Decay. They're around there, and they're like, look at all these teams showing up now for the match, the Apocalypto. Excuse me, I had to take a quick yawn break because it's a little late while we're doing this. It's been a long day. But aside from that, I'm trying to think of what else happens before Lashley and Eddie Edwards. Sadly, nothing that comes to my mind, so we're just going to go into it.
Nothing really.
You forgot to mention that the Itchweed versus Chad Sterling, whatever his name is, was under Hardy House rules, which means basically anything goes.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So Eddie Edwards and Lashley fight each other. There's no winner at this one. Basically, Lashley did a really good bump where he fell on his back on steel steps and rolled. Eddie Edwards got thrown into the Ugly Ducklings, which is Colby Corino, Lance Lude, and Rob Killjoy. So that's pretty big. And then, he got back up, they started fighting, and then there was a part where I believe Eddie Edwards and Lashley fell through a wall. It was pretty much the door to the outside, and this is how they start fighting around his house and then on top of the volcano and whatnot.
They just go to segments after that moment happens.
Yeah, after that happens, then we get into the part where Decay starts. Apocalypto has arrived, and basically it's elimination. You get pinned, you get eliminated.
The Hardys come out to the ring.
Hardys start wrestling people. I believe they start.
By the way,
wrestling.
We actually forgot one. We forgot to describe one thing for the people who don't get to watch this. The event did not happen outside. It happened actually inside that shed that has the ring in it on the Hardy premises. I guess their property.
Yes. The little barn. Apparently, it's like where they used to do old Omega shows. Also, by the way,
it's where Maxwell had his birthday party at the final deletion.
Yes. Yep.
Soon they will all be.
So they have deleted. The show. They have the show there. And then around the show, they have the opening for the Apocalypto. There the gates are open. Decay starts beating up team after team after team. I can't remember the first team the second team they beat up, but the first team was Corey Hollis and it's on the top of my tongue. John Schuyler, thank you. Their North Carolina team. You might have seen them on Raw. Actually, they wrestled on Raw.
I've seen them on NXT
Mr.
and
Kennedy
Raw.
Or something. One of them
and also Hollis also fought Braun Strowman once.
Yes. It was they had an NXT match, a Raw match, and then Corey Hollis jobbed to Strowman. So that happened. After they got squashed, then the Ugly Ducklings got squashed. By God, Colby Carino, you look like $1 million, dude. Props to you. I hope you get better from everything.
I hope you get away from all the drugs and stuff. Hopefully you get clean after that. I mean, I've seen what it does to people, especially in the wrestling industry, and it's sad to say. I hope he doesn't fall. I hope his dad helps him straighten up.
Colby Carino, you look like $1 million out there. Of course, Rob Killjoy. Sorry, I almost botched your name there, dude. You're great. Like, I'm friends with you on Facebook, anyways. So, I mean, why wouldn't I put over the North Carolina?
Are we just
guys?
Shouting out to all the random people
Lance
that showed up at
Chip Sterling? Where was the mathematician at?
I'm gonna shout out to the Bravado Brothers. Yeah. I became an even bigger fan of them tonight.
Yeah, they pretty much they saw Decay beating up team after team, so they kind of just dipped for a while.
Away.
Yeah, so Decay beat up a bunch of PWX indie teams basically and Omega teams. And
the whole PWX tag team division showed up.
after that, I'm missing a tag team. I'm sorry, I can't remember your tag team name.
Did you say the Rockers yet?
Rockers have not showed up yet. The Rock and Roll Express, you mean? They have not showed up yet. But I'm pretty much going through everybody that Decay.
Yeah, not the Rockers. Shawn Michaels was not there. I'm sorry for trying
Marty
to
Jannetty was not there, guys. So
no, that was it. And then it was Spud.
Yeah, so let's go through the Decay real quick before we get to the Hardys, and then once we get to the Hardys, we'll go back to Helm's Dynasty guys, and then we'll roll around back to the Volcano, because it's split up in many parts.
What about Spud and his partner?
Yeah, so after that, we see Spud's like, you're going to regret messing with me. I brought the biggest partner of them all. And then you see this car pull in, and then
it's a giant car, too.
Out comes Hornswoggle. I'm not BSing you, all right? Out comes Hornswoggle, and straight up, Abyss just sits there and almost breaks character laughing, and Hornswoggle and Rockstar Spud just walk right past them through the gates, and then he goes back into character because he sees that DCC has arrived, and so Death Council's arrived. There's a bunch of them, but they all get beat up except for two guys. Who one of them was James Storm, and if you guys remember from the final deletion, that the Decay robbed this guy in Cameron, North Carolina for his truck,
took his truck to
and
get
his
to
pants.
The Hardy compound.
And his pants. They took his truck and his pants. So this guy's like, I came back for revenge, and then freaking Abyss...
when you're DCC 4 life.
Oh, don't forget.
He says too sour. He says sour me, brother.
Sour me, brother.
So freaking Abyss knocks him out, and then pins him, and then the referee's like, DCC's been eliminated, and James Storm takes off his mask. He's like, what are you talking about? He's not even a part of the team. And the referee just runs away, and he freaking gets hit with it was the last call, last chance? I don't know, it's a super kick. It's a super kick, that's all you gotta know. So James Storm hits the redneck guy from North Carolina with a super kick, and I think this is actually the same guy who showed up at the Great War, by the way.
That might have been that
I think
same
it
guy.
was, yeah. But you'll remember him
Is he
more
just a
from,
returning factor?
I think you'll remember him from the final deletion, which makes
He's
it even
probably
better.
a Hardy friend.
So yeah, I'd imagine. So after
He's a
that,
friend of House Hardy,
we'll
which
go,
is the greatest faction, by the way. House Hardy is the
yes,
greatest
we'll now
faction.
roll into the second bit of this match, where we see Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. They're locked in a big battle with the Helms Dynasty. Excuse me, Helms Dynasty. All you gotta know is that they eliminated Bravado Brothers in the ring, and they eliminated Spud because Hornswoggle turned on Spud. Because he said, I have bigger people to face. We'll get into that. And so we go back. Hardys are facing Helms Dynasty, and the Helms Dynasty almost pins the Hardys to eliminate them, but the dilapidated boat actually hits one of them, so it breaks up the pin. Yeah, and then Shane Helms, Shane Helms, says, let's beat up this boat, and so they beat up the boat, and what happens next is Matt Hardy gets angry and pushes him into the Lake of Reincarnation, and the Helms Dynasty becomes 3 count. I'm not even lying to you. The Helms Dynasty becomes 3 count. And then Gregory Shane Helms, Sugar Shane, looks to Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett, who are doing the dance with the circle, by the way. And he's like, you're not Shannon, you're not Evan. And then he gets betrayed by...
He gets double super kick.
Yeah, he gets betrayed. So the Helms Dynasty turned, or Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee turned on Gregory Shane Helms, super kicked him back into Lake of Reincarnation. He became the Hurricane, but we'll save that
we'll save that for later.
Because during the part where the Helms Dynasty is fighting each other, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy are fighting the Rock and Roll Express, and Ricky Morton, the 60-year-old guy with blonde hair, he's like, guys, is this a prank? He's like stuck in the air with a cherry picker, the little things they used to get the lines or tree branches. He's stuck in the air because, of course, he was facing Jeff Hardy there, because why not? And Jeff Hardy's like, haha, I'm crazy. So he does a freaking, not full-on swanton bomb on the other guy and then pins him.
No, he rolled out of the way and
then yeah, he rolled out of the way. It doesn't make sense, I guess, because the old man might have died if they did that, but yeah, straight up. Also during this, Lashley and Eddie Edwards are still fighting. Lashley no-sold a freaking spear to the crotch by Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle was like, I'm gonna fight you and become champ. Freaking spears Lashley to the crotch and gets no-sold. And so, he just throws him away, and him and Eddie Edwards get back to fighting. Yeah. But then, after Rock and Roll Express are eliminated, we see Shane Helms and... not Shane Helms. We see Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett continue to fight Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy and Brother Nero, whatever you want to call him. And they get actually pinned and buried alive due to the fact that we saw, straight up, the Hurricane fly into the air, come back, hand Matt Hardy a shovel.
Yeah, took the shovels away from them.
Yeah, took the shovels away from
he ripped them out of both their hands with one hand each.
Yeah, he took it out of Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett's hand, gave it to Matt Hardy to knock both them out, buried them, and then Broken Matt Hardy's like, I'm pretty sure the man of 3 H's would be proud of us for burying these young talents. And they look to the camera and just do that,
gave a wink and a thumbs up.
So, yeah. After that, by the way, we cut to everyone fighting. We see Decay, Lashley, and Edwards, and then Matt and Jeff, and they're fighting, and the volcano explodes. And what's happened is we see Eddie Edwards and Lashley get knocked out. That's the end of them, and it's just down to the Hardys and Decay. And honestly, at this point, it was looking like this is it for the Hardys.
Crazy Steve fell in the volcano.
Yeah. So Jeff Hardy actually pushed Crazy Steve into the volcano, or led to him falling into the volcano. Anyway, you look at it.
For those who don't know, that guy is either
blind.
like I don't know how blind he is. He's at least half blind, and like that guy was walking around fire and stuff. I was so scared for him.
So yeah, volcano explodes. So Crazy Steve falls into the air, and then Abyss gets knocked out. I can't remember how, but yeah, he gets knocked out, and Hardy's win. And there's this moment where you see Senor Benjamin, Vanguard 1, King Maxwell, Rebby Sky, Matt Hardy, and Brother Nero all together as a family. And Matt Hardy's like, "We have won it. We have overcome the apocalypse, all 6 of us." And then Rebby Sky, at the very freaking last second,
the last sentence
says, "Don't you mean 7 of us?" So
and
Rebby
then he's like, "Oh!"
Rebby Sky revealed she is pregnant. I want you to think about that.
This is continuing.
No, there is no better way in the world probably to reveal pregnancy than what I've just witnessed tonight, and that is the honest truth.
So I would love to believe that.
How long do you think that was planned for the? How long do you think that was planned for the very end of this thing? Like, because you obviously know they obviously wrote the script beforehand and all that.
Yeah.
How long do you think that was like one of those things? Oh, this is perfect to just put at the end, or do you think they had known for a while to where
I think they
might
known
be
for a while
further into pregnancy?
Yeah, I think they known for a while because I mean she hasn't been wrestling too much from the last time she.
Oh
wrestled,
yeah, that is true.
So,
like I haven't even thought about that.
This has been almost 22 whole minutes of me describing total nonstop deletion. From what it looks like, even though the Hardys' contracts, quote-unquote, expire in February, this is not the end of them. Like, we're going to probably see a lot more, and I'm excited for that. However, we need some takeaways to think about. The big takeaway right now is we just saw a lot of people who may or may not come back to TNA in terms of people that, you know, Gregory Shane Helms might be done, or we might see him take on
the Hurricane.
I don't think he'll be known as the Hurricane.
No,
he's not going to be with the Helms dynasty, most likely. I don't think that will happen.
Maybe he'll bring up another North Carolina tag team to feud against the Helms dynasty.
Sienna is number one contender. Sienna is number one contender against Rosemary, so that's a big takeaway. Did that match ever end? Edwards and Lashley? No, never ended. So Lashley technically was not written off, by the way. So
yeah, well, I was like, that was one of my predictions of potential when we were watching this.
I mean, there's a couple more takeaways, but they're kind of 50-50, so I'll kind of leave them out and just go into like the final thoughts and our numbers for everything. But the safest thing to say is 2017. We're going to be hopefully starting off strong because we ended very strong, so hopefully we'll start off strong with TNA, especially because we're going into a new round of recordings, so we're going to definitely, you know, and especially because there's a big rumor where Matt Hardy's in charge of creative, actually. Like
he's actually taking over because of the whole network changing. Yeah. And the whole ownership changing, he might be in charge of creative from now on.
And it's only fitting that I say this. Also, there's a big rumor that Uncle Billy's position will be replaced by Jeff Jarrett. So, that's a big thing, by the way. So I think 2017, we'll just have to take it week by week to see what's true and what's not, and what is true, but they want to hold off for later, because I think that's a big thing in TNA. Because TNA, I think it's just they have a very easy, like, set of, like, how they can do a show, and then they're like, well, let's just get risky one week, and I think the risk really does pay off most of the time, because they need a really, like, the past couple weeks have been a little low, because we knew we were going to have
TNA plays it smart. They'll go one great episode, and then a couple decent ones, and they might even have, like, a bad one mixed in with those decent ones, but then they hit you with another phenomenal one.
Yeah. So, do you guys have anything final words to say real quick?
Bravo TNA. Like I said, at the beginning of the year, I was very critical of TNA. I was very critical because I didn't think they were going to last. There was a point in early 2016, I did not think they were going to last through 2016, and I am glad I was wrong at this point.
Yeah, all of us had doubt in it, honestly.
Yeah, all of us
I
were.
think my
There was
main
a
doubt.
time in the spring when we were all predicting dates on when this thing was going to be over.
Yeah, my main doubt was when that they were looking very critical on the money situation and in terms of viewership dropping and just people dropping. But I think Uncle Billy saved them, and then Matt Hardy restored them.
Yeah,
That's a nice way to put
after
it.
like Young and Rude left, that's when things were looking really bad.
Just stay away from Monday nights, because this is what happened last time they were on
So
a good
don't
roll.
don't get too
don't try to
cocky.
challenge WWE.
Yeah,
Do not try to challenge WWE, TNA.
Now we're saying
then
if
you'll
you
die
want,
again.
we're saying if you want, you can challenge Lucha or you can challenge
Challenge
like,
Lucha,
NXT,
challenge Ring of Honor.
But
No, you see, there's just but I would definitely say keep it away from Wednesdays because there's just so much on Wednesdays.
Keep it away from any kind of WWE product, but you can go after Lucha. You can go after Ring of Honor.
I think that's why TNA is so good because they have no other Thursday nights to compete with right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because everything.
They have no American on Thursday.
So, let's just go numbers now. Malin, what would you give tonight? Like I know everything's like
10.
crazy. All right, you sure you want to give that? You sure you want to give that?
Yes.
All right, Mullins, what would you give tonight?
12.
A 12. Wow.
12 out of 10.
Wow. For me,
that was a movie. Like, we didn't watch professional wrestling tonight. We watched a movie.
For me
And that
tonight,
was
I'm gonna give it a solid 10. I think honestly though, my only gripe is TNA did not have enough time to do what they wanted to do, because you can see where they were like, if only we had 5 more minutes, we could do this.
Hell, if TNA had an extra hour for just one episode,
I think that might hurt them though.
That may have been too much.
That might have caused me to have a heart attack, and we don't want that.
But great show, TNA, and wow, like it's weird because like this isn't even the last Impact of the year. You think about it, we still got next week, and it's like the next week before like Christmas, so maybe it is a hearty Christmas. So we'll see you guys next week. Keep it safe, guys.